Hi, Olivia. Thank you for agreeing to participate in this interview. Let's begin with a few questions about your background. First, what is your age and current level of education?
I am 21 years old and currently doing my bachelor in accountancy.
Great. Have you taken any logistic related courses? If yes, which one?
Not directly, but we touched on logistics in subjects like business operations and management accounting.
How familiar are you with logistic business operations and management accounting?
I have a basic understanding. Logistics were mentioned in the context of controlling costs and improving performance in management accounting, especially when analyzing variable and fixed costs related to distribution.
That's good to hear. Now, moving on to green logistics. Specifically, what does the term green logistic mean to you?
For me, green logistics means using methods that reduce pollution, waste, and fuel consumption in logistics operations. It's about being environmentally responsible.
And how did you first learn about green logistics?
I was introduced to it during our university subject business operations. That's when I really started to understand its importance.
Hmm. In your opinion, how important is sustainability in logistic operations and why?
It's very important because logistics have a big impact on business in every company. Logistics practices help protect the planet while also improving business efficiency.
Can you give examples of green logistics practices you have encountered or learned about?
Sure, some examples are using electric vehicles for deliveries, reducing packaging waste, and optimizing delivery routes using software.
Do you believe companies and universities should emphasize green logistic more? Why or why not?
Yes, it creates awareness early and prepares students to apply those practices in real-world jobs. Companies can also set the standard by taking the lead.
Would you be interested in working in business operation that involve logistic that can increase in management accounting? Why?
Absolutely. I want to be part of something meaningful and contribute to improving business efficiency.
Lastly, why do you think students can do to promote green logistic awareness?
Students can start small, like including green topics in class presentations, organizing awareness programs, or even sharing information on social media.
All right, and it was so informative, and thank you so much for sharing with me, Olivia.
You're welcome.
Hi, Joanna. Thank you for your time. Let's start with your demographic profile. What is your age and current level of education?
I am 23 and currently pursuing my bachelor's in accountancy.
Have you taken any logistic related courses?
Not directly, but in my business operations subject, we briefly discussed the supply chain and how logistics affects business efficiency.
How familiar are you with business operations that involve with supply chain and how logistic affects business efficiency?
I'm moderately familiar in business operations. We learned that the supply chain includes everything from sourcing raw materials to delivering the final product to customers. Logistics plays a key role in ensuring this process runs smoothly and cost efficiently. We also touched on how delays or poor logistics planning can lead to higher costs, customer dissatisfaction, and even profit loss. So I understand its importance even though we didn't go deep into the technical side.
All right. Let's talk more specifically about green logistic. What does the term mean to you?
Green logistics is about reducing the environmental impact of logistics activities like cutting down fuel use, emissions, and using renewable energy.
How did you first come across this concept?
I learned about it during a case study assignment in one of our university subjects. It caught my interest from there.
How important do you think sustainability is in logistic operation?
Very important. Besides protecting the environment, it also boosts operational efficiency and improves company reputation.
Can you give me any examples of green logistic practices you have seen or studied?
Sure. For example, using solar panels in warehouses, road optimization,
Hmm.
and companies switching to eco-friendly packaging.
Do you think companies and universities should emphasize in green logistic more?
Yes, education shapes future professionals and companies can influence industry standards. Both play a major role.
Oh, sorry. Would you be interested in working for a company that values green logistic?
Yes, I will. It's rewarding to be in a company that cares about the business operational as much as profit.
Lastly, what can students do to raise awareness about green logistics?
We can talk about it during presentations, do research project on the topic or collaborate with NGOs or green startups for events.
All right, and it was so informative. Thank you so much for sharing with me, Joanna.
You're welcome.
Hi, Kashitra. Thank you for being here. Let's begin with your background. What is your age and current level of education?
So I'm 21 years old and I'm doing bachelor's in accountancy.
Have you taken any logistic related subjects?
Not specifically, but we did cover some related subjects in business operations and management accounting. We discussed how logistic costs affect a company's overall financial performance, especially in areas like inventory management and transportation. So while it wasn't a logistic subject by name, the topics were somewhat connected.
How familiar are you with logistics that are related in business operations and management accounting?
I am familiar with how logistics impact cost and business efficiency. In cost accounting, we focus on how logistic costs like inventory and transportation affect overall profitability.
That's fair. So, what does green logistic mean to you?
I think it means doing logistic in a way that is less harmful to the environment, like reducing waste and using cleaner transport methods.
How did you first learn about green logistic?
I first heard about it in a lecture. Our lecturer gave us an assignment somehow related to green logistic that can help with accounting management, and that's when I got interested.
How important do you think sustainability is in logistics?
It's very important. Logistics can create a lot of pollution. We need to find better ways to do it without hurting the earth.
Hmm. Can you give any example of green logistic practices you have come across?
Yes, like companies using biodegradable packaging and fuel efficient delivery fans.
Do you think companies and universities should emphasize green logistic more?
Yes, because we need to learn about it early. Then when we go to work, we can help improve things.
Hmm. Would you want to work in company that promotes green logistic?
Yes, maybe in the future, I would. It feels good to know you are doing something that helps the planet.
And finally, what can students do to spread awareness about green logistics?
I think students can start discussions, share knowledge with friends, or maybe do group projects that can focus on green logistic solutions.
All right, it was so informative. Thank you so much for sharing with me, Kashitra.
You're welcome.